And this is it, the second pull and ham session. My training week has concluded. 2 push and quad sessions and 2 pull and ham sessions. This is it. Train my whole body 2 times a week. And this is the last workout for the week. Pull in, and hams. The first exercise is the chin up. Oh boy. And you know, it was in the GVT training-ish training style. I always went for 10 reps, not every time. I didn't get them every time, but still, I was always trying to get those 10 reps. Here again with my beautiful resistance band. This resistance band gives me the biggest push. And if I have to guesstimate the weight I'm pulling there, maybe it's half of my body weight. And I really recommend you guys to get a chin-up bar for yourself in your own home. Not only to do hangs, but also to do those chin-ups variations. And there's a lot of things you can do. Even also, I'm contemplating getting a pulley, and then I could do some triceps work and everything else with it. And on those chin-ups, when they got harder, I was not really pulling myself up the way a normal chin-up is. Actually, I was shifting my body weight, or let's say my head, more to the floor. So think about the motion that you do when you fall on a bed. I mean, you will elevate the feet to the front and your head will be tilted to the back, and that way you will have more power to pull yourself up, because the way I'm doing it right now, it's the hardest way. But if you are horizontally or parallel to the ceiling, more or less, if you're inclined, yeah, you will be you have an easier time to pull yourself up. And this is something I did when I realized, I could not get another rep in. Then I shifted my weight. The feet got more to the front and the head went way to the back, and then I pulled myself up more easily. And this was a real fight for me. I'm training for several weeks now. Maybe I will consider a deload. What that means for me is not hitting weights at all. I mean, my kind of deload is just off, taking a week off or 2, sometimes only the 4 days or so. But maybe this time around a full week would be, pretty conducive to muscle growth. But tomorrow, I'm doing the voiceover right now on Sunday. Maybe I will see how I'm feeling. Maybe I will push again tomorrow. The pun is intended. I will push on push and quad day. And that would be the HIT kind of ish day. So after 1 good night of sleep, I will just feel it out. I will see how I'm feeling, and then I will judge accordingly. Also, what I like to do is I'm checking my pulse. And when my resting pulse is elevated significantly, I know that my body needs that extra recovery. But when my pulse stays more or less the same, that's alright. That for me is the sign to go again. And then that's alright. You can push yourself that way. I never push myself to the point where I get the rhabdo. This is when you puke. This is when your blood levels in your system, they get a significant a bigger, actually I don't really know what it is, maybe I should look it up. But if you have rhabdo, you need to go to the hospital, and they will inject you maybe with some saline solution, or they will make sure that you recover and you get some nutrients in, maybe all your electrolytes. I think it is when all of your electrolytes are just worn out, there's no more electrolytes, and your muscles are just too exhausted, and that's the point where you need to go to the hospital. This is Goggins training style. This is pushing yourself to the absolute limits. And I don't think many people in this world got to that point where they got rhabdomyolysis. But for some strange way, I think this is some kind of badge of honor if you are able to push yourself that way. Who knows? I don't think I will ever go to that place, because most people, they have their governor in their head. The governor will always tell you, just like in a car. This is an information I got from David Goggins from his book, Can't Hurt Me. He's talking about people have a governor in their head, and when they're going for a run or whatever they're doing, some strenuous kind of exercise, their mental barrier will be so high that there's the so-called governor. It will tell you not to push yourself anymore. Just like in a car, the car can maybe go 150 miles an hour, but at maybe 80 miles an hour or whatever, it just stops. But it could go a lot faster. And that's the same way with you, that's the same way with me. All of us, we have so much more to give, but then this mental aspect kicks in, and then you just stop. Your body does not want to go to those extreme levels. Your body will always try to preserve itself. Your body likes to be in a homeostasis. Your body just does not want to go to those extreme levels, so it's saving yourself. It's saving yourself from yourself, more or less. But if you are mentally so strong and tough that you can push yourself over that limit, you will see that you will have a lot more capacity. And that's the Goggins kind of life. If you have not read the book by David Goggins, Can't Hurt Me, please do. I remember when I read that book for the very first time, I never ran more than 7 kilometers. But then after I read his book, I was so inspired that I ran 25 kilometers, which I previously thought would not be even possible for me. But I did it in -2 degrees Celsius outside. And it's funny how when somebody else does something that you will get yourself going, or the inspiration kicks in so much that you give yourself the permission. And yeah, there is so much more out there. I think also many people like myself, you, anybody, I mean, a lot of people leave a lot on the table. And in life you get what you negotiate, not certainly what you just want. So nobody's gonna give you free handouts. You always wanna go and create your own life, you know. Here I am doing the barbell rows. And as you can see, I'm bending my knee slightly, because when I did them on Wednesday, I was going for that very deep stretch with that horizontal upper body, but this time around not so much. This time around I was stabilizing myself a lot more, and this is the way you can do the barbell rows a lot easier. But also, if you put in much more weight on the bar, this would be a lot safer. And I don't think anybody could keep their legs completely straight with a horizontal upper body and then go barbell row 200 kilos. That's just impossible. I don't think this will be ever done because of the hinges. I don't know. Don't think so. Or for example, you could never do side laterals with 200 kilos because if you try, you will go for that upright row, you know. It's just the hinges. And also, look at T-bar rowing. At T-bar rowing, you could go and touch the very tip of the bar on the outer level, and then it will be super easy for you to pull it up. But if you go closer and closer and closer, it will be just harder. So we are just anatomically built that way. Here I am already going for that deep stretch on my lats, because every time I'm working out a muscle, I'm stretching it afterwards. And now it's that lat stretch. And I'm using my straps, pulling myself in, and I push my hands at each other, and then I get that deep lat stretch. And also when you are hanging, if it's for lat stretching or if it's just for shoulder mobility and health, you should always aim to go deeper and deeper and lower into that hang stretch. If it's an active hang, a passive hang, or the way I did it just now with my swings, try to go as low as you can to get the best results. For the very, very best stretching, you will get the best results. That's true. Also, You know, some people wear braces and then their teeth get into that desired position. That's the same way with your shoulder, like I did when I had my injury. It was in a very bad state, and then when I started hanging, all of the bones got back to normal. And I will never shut up about hanging. I think this is so crucially important that you are hanging. I think everybody in this world should have a chin-up bar at home just to hang here and there. Even if it's just for 10 seconds a day, that would do a difference in your shoulder health. Here I am doing my bent over it's one time with the dumbbells, the dumbbell bent over side lateral raise, and then with the banded ones. And the banded ones give me a good workout, especially when I go up, and the more you pull on those bands, the harder the resistance, of course. And I'm lacking rear delts so much. I need to focus on my rear delts, and you will see that many people in the gym will have a much more pronounced front part of their delt, and the rear, for some people just like me, it's almost not existent. So there needs to be a lot of work put in. And also the front part of the delt gets worked when you're doing chest, and you know you can use a fairly high amount of weight if you're training your chest, especially also, I'm talking about the front part of the delt. But when you are pulling, if you're specifically aiming to get some meat packed on the rear part of your delt, well, there's the chin up, but me personally, I don't feel my rear delt firing when I'm doing the chin up. So for me, it's the teeny tiny dumbbells just to get a good feeling in them. And also, I wish there was an exercise where you could pound your rear delts with a big compound movement. I'm thinking about maybe barbell rows or any of the bigger back muscles exercises. But then again, I don't feel it's going into my rear delts. I feel like my traps, my rhomboids, my lats, they are completely taken over if I'm going with the compound movements. And I wish that I would find a better way to train my rear delts, because yeah, maybe there is some indirect kind of involvement, but for the rear delts, as I'm training them right now, there will always be teeny tiny weights. But let's say I'm doing my bent over dumbbell raises with heavier weight, well, my back will take over. Also, the closer your upper arm is to your back when you're doing those exercises, the dumbbell rows, or dumbbell over lat raises, more of your back will take over that movement. So when you are doing work for your rear delts, try to spread out those arms. Try to put the upper arm away from back. The upper arm needs to be horizontally and not close to you. The elbows should not your lats, if we're talking about extremes. Your elbows should not touch your lats. Your elbows be also almost at the level of your ears. That's the cross line. That's where they should be. And yeah, but if the weight gets heavier and heavier, you will realize that your back is taken over much more than you actually desire. And that's just how we are anatomically. But I need to find a better way for my rear delts. That's a particular muscle where I'm not having that great mind-muscle connection. Also with my calves. And it's so interesting. If I'm a body, I think that my back is much more developed than the rear delt. Funny how many people, there's so many people bodybuilding out there, and there's always people with different kind of weak points. Interesting, right? It's not like you, me look the same. I mean, if we're looking at our faces, it's different faces. If you would cut yourself open, all of these, they would resemble each other, be the size, be not the exact shape, all vary. So let's say form the bench press, biomechanically, we're not doing the same exercise. It will be slightly different. It will be a slight version of it. Also, many people have different arm lengths, and for example, I think if I'm doing my upright rows, sometimes the collar gets loose on one side but not on the other, so maybe one is longer than the other. Maybe I'm in a position, I don't think to me. So realize in the gym, if I'm doing, for example, deadlifts, always one side much more loose than the other on the barbell, and then I screw it in again, and then again. But nobody will have a side body. That's no way. Just look, at your face. There's no perfect symmetry. There's just not. It's just not possible. I actually think maybe it would look weird if you're perfectly symmetrical. What we look for faces, very, very perfect symmetric face is not existent. Does not exist. Also, some people prefer people with a slight asymmetry, but yeah, whatever floats your boat, Those raises, as they get harder and harder at the top movement parts, I varied the grip, because you can go for shoulder width or slightly more than shoulder width, so that would make the exercise easier. Or if you go with your fists closer together, that's the hardest way to do those resistance band stretches, pull aparts. And when I do those, I'm aiming for my nose to touch, the resistance band has to touch the nose, and then I know, okay, well, I'm hitting my rear delts. But most of the time I did on the bench pad, and went for that deep stretch there. And with those dumbbells, I'm actually doing the same kind of movement in a superset. And as you can see right there, I'm already pretty exhausted at that point. I'm fighting every rep, and then it goes to my nose, as you can see right there. The band goes to my nose, and that's where I get the best feeling in the rear delt for now. And always, why not get your ass on the bench? Go to the bench and then do that lateral movement, because you are looking to cosmetically increase the size of the rear delt. So I don't think there is a point to not make it easier. Make the exercise for all of the stabilization muscles easy. Put yourself into position and then concentrate on the muscle you're working on. Also, people to go for unilateral movements. Maybe I should try next time, but right now I'm doing it with both of my hands, because when you do an exercise unilaterally, which just means one-sided, you will get a better feeling, and that's how Flex does it. Flex Wheeler was actually also closing his eyes and really focusing and concentrating. And if you're just doing it with one arm, he talked about it's just a way, like if you're in a classroom and there's one teacher with one student, that one student will be better catered than, let's say, one teacher with 25 pupils. And that's why he does everything, or he tends to do stuff unilaterally to get a better concentration in the working muscle. But on the downside, of course, the length will be increased, but that's marginally, that's not a big factor. You can still go. If you have, that's also the way to go. For example, if you're doing curl, you can never really know if both arms are doing the same kind of, even leg the pad will not be, the bar will not be in the middle, and then easily you throttle on one leg and at all, so you can that way. So unilateral would be a lot better. So if you have, maybe, I don't know, you try one arm, do 10 reps, and then need to know that, then you will see that longer. And for some reason, I'm right-handed, like many people are, but my left arm in some exercises when I'm doing unilateral work will be stronger, which is also a funny thing. But many people experience that. I have no explanation for that, but it's true that really happens sometimes. But you would expect it. If you are right-sided, everything on your right side would be stronger, and some, but yeah. funny little thing that as a right-handed man, your left arm will be stronger. And if you're thinking about like brushing your teeth, you have a firm grip. Then if you switch hand to the left hand, you have no control over it. For example, if you're even writing, you're taking a pen and you're writing something down with your right hand and say super, and everything will be to work the left hand with the hand you're not writing a complete mess. And your brain doing all the time. When you're working out and you get those patterns in, that's a great thing. If you really have those patterns down, that's every exercise you see, every motion, I guess, learn. But it will be a different kind of movement. That's also something, right? And your brain, motion, and then your brain. Then the connections your brain makes then. The killer bench that I'm using, I think, has a padding, but I wish that there would be, should put something on it. But in my gym, I'm stronger. On the pad, that'd be a much more grip on my chin. But in my bench, feels different, but every width. Also, I think slightly lopsided. In my arms, just all the way, I realized bench. But this bench, I bought 60 euros. But I checked a couple of days ago. And the bench now, the very same bench, right? 50 euros. Shortage of, and they realized that they have a better price, so they, and now the rack where I'm putting it in 18 euros. Maybe I should give you an Amazon. Realize that the up with the prices, I think 230. So they're real something they can ask for. That's how the way things go, you know. Especially in the times we're in right now. And I'm happy with the stuff I have now. I think my gym equipment, that's sufficient for a good workout. But of course I like to have, let's say, have a power. That's all. If you have a barbell with it and your whole body, you know. You can take so many body parts. But, of course, you want to have not only big brushes to paint with. If, let's say, your body is a sculpture or a painting, you know. You want to have small brushes to paint with. So you don't want to just have the work on your back. Maybe dumbbells. Or if you're working not only benching, have dumbbells to maybe. So variation is a nice thing if you have it. But if you are in a position where you just have a power rack with a barbell and some plates, then I think if I had money, I think a leg press would also be the very first addition I would make. Very nice leg press. Perform the leg press also just with weights, and there's also a lot of variation you could include, because if you just have the power rack, you got your squats, the back kind of exercise, but it's just the squats. But of course, pistol squats or Romanian, Bulgarian split squats, there's still some things you can do, or just lunges. Those are the very first things into my head. Out of the dome. Or yeah, even hams, you know, hams. If you pull out, if you're doing your, got nice for, obviously in my small apartment, a leg curl, so started. I'm sorry for my bad language. Got, now we got, and this showed a variant. One I did before, I did with my resistance bands. But this stretch, just by gravity, just by if you put your arms that, the way I do Segura, and this is the way I'm doing a slam dunk, his arms look right there to get my stretch in. Really feel it with just by pretty, nothing else, that's it, nothing more. Be careful with it. My ease into the stretch, one where easily if you go, that's true for any stretch, you know. But especially on your shoulder. Most mobile joint, the shoulder is also the dirt. Self of my past in soldier. So yeah, no one people, anybody that have trouble with, and then with their, it's very common. That's super common. You know, the jumper knee or the hip impingement. Many people that perform sports will have those. Here I am stretching myself out. Mobilizing myself, just doing some movements there to get loosened up. I'm here at my barbell and dumbbell bicep. Also 10. Boy, oh boy, it really, my voice I did the work voiceover. To my level of just sheer tiredness, you do a workout like that or GVT-ish. It's so taxing. It's something I should not. This one voice in my head, hey, push yourself, but then again, in vain, you know. Will not grow in the gym. The muscle will not grow if you're working. Also, recover it to have great recovery. That's ways. Sleeps, but not if you're pushing mentality. I think Dory, if give you the best strength, inclusively would do it. I believe him. I would go for that. Would be that you will just work yourself into the dust. That's it. So it's not. But currently I'm experimenting with my training split. I mean twice a week. That's in what 3 months or so. Normally. And the good side, for example, the chest for the next chest workout. When it's still not that way. I mean, it's around the corner. Because if you're training chest on Monday, you wait on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then boom, it's Friday again. So there will be 3 days apart where you will work out the chest again. And after the second chest workout, Sunday and chest workout, which would be on the month, 3 days off. Then 2 days off. That's all there is. The 2 chest back workouts, or name it, you know. That's always with calves. I have a different approach. My calves, if they're still sore, I don't like to train sore. My calves, I do get here and there. Too much work. You know, my bike really push it. But it's funny to look at yourself when you're training. Because before this YouTube project here, how you are doing, have the video, because I do need a lot of on the bigger lifts too, biggest weak points, and I should just. I mean, of course, later on, it's alright. I mean, I'm happy with the workout. The workout started myself just to get it going. If you are eager to train. If you have to just frequently, every workout I look to very much. And I'm the kind of guy whenever the same thing. If you feel like you are training, just take it. Shocked. Say about pushing yourself, which is point, because at some point you will get to that point of diminishing returns. So also you gotta rest sometimes. Why not? People schedule their resting times or their deload times. I don't. I go by feel. Because sometimes you push yourself for weeks and weeks and weeks, and then there's weeks where you still push yourself, but you don't. And then, yeah, it happens. You know, maybe one time you are cleaning your basement, or whatever happens. You are eating much more or much less. And those factors all part in your recovery, or you don't get that sleep, or any factors which accumulate, and according to that one you wanna load or even not deload or rest a week. I think a full week or even 2, which may have a little bit much. But if you look at the grades, let's say Mr. Olympia, 8-time Mr. Olympia Ronnie Coleman, when he competed in the Mr. Olympia, I think he did 3 months of doing absolute enhancing supplements. Just enjoying himself, eating 3 times. Of course, he lost some size, but he needed that rest. There's one guy of that. At least 3 months. And also, there's pictures of Dexter just looks small. Well, he looks super for his sponsors. But yeah, he looked fairly average. Then boom, when he gets ready for a show, also with their great work ethic and their unbelievable, it looks like they're almost blowing up over 50 years plus. Great genetic, just has great genetics. His upper body, it looked almost when he competed there. This happens to the older bodybuilders. That is, they will get smaller. The smaller your legs will become. Check out any of the older bodybuilders. First muscle that will say. But on the upper body, especially chest, even that's the point that will stay with you. And another factor for that was make that your competition to heal your knees. Just on the injury rehab, life is so much better if you're pain-free. And health, I think health in life, if you give me health, money is so maybe health, then once the time, money would be on the list. On my totem pole, the money would be health is so important. Little dumbbells. I have to think about the weight, I think, or so. Different dumbbell companies almost look alike, but then, and I think in some kind of, but then they do variations. My plates right there in my 5 kg 5 kilo plates. I think also in diameter, but thicker, yeah. Bad company plates that says barbell on them because of the name of the company, I guess. Or maybe, I don't know, who knows, bad company barbell, maybe that's how they like to call it. But I can put them on my barbell and my dumbbell. Slightly bigger, and that's the same way with my mega fitness shop, strength shop kind of plates. Those last two mentioned have the same dimensions. And I think that the hole you put the barbell through also is a little bit increased. It's not 30 millimeters, it's maybe 28. It feels like 28. And there's a little bit more room. What I like to do when I put them on the barbell, I light them better. Because if you just plate onto the barbell, the straight push, the horizontal push, that's make a lot of sounds, and so I try the dumbbell. There'll be no sounds made, just they will give a little bang if they clang to it. And what's that? I'm doing the 30 kilo barbell curl. So little weight, but try if you do that 10 times, so that gets cumbersome. And on that day we had a great sunny. As I'm talking to you right now, it's February 21st, yeah, and it's, goddamn, it's so good. I really like the sun, and especially is what helps. You get some vitamin D in. If you cannot get it out of 1,000 IEs and back. It was a placebo, which I'm not sure if it increased vitamin D, and for that alone, and you're always that you're happy. Without vitamin D with no sun, especially more in your life, then that life's that really. You can feel super bad. You get a good night's of sleep. You get awesome fun. You go to the park. You get some. We human beings live in the now, and it doesn't matter if you, let's say you take a cold shower, and taking the cold shower sucks, and then you think about how much the cold shower sucks, but then after an hour or so you're somewhere out and it's sunny, then of course you will not feel the cold anymore. And that's also with your life circumstances. You can be down and out, you can be almost suicidal. Whoop! Just the new scenery, just by going with new perspectives in life, with having a new goal, with having a good workout, all these things I mentioned before. I mean, you can change instantly, and you are not the guy you were yesterday, you're the guy you are today. And just by giving yourself, just doing those little tweaks, just changing here and there little things, man, oh man, your life can. There I am, push it, Tommy. I'm telling myself to go, and that's what I'm doing there. And I'm sweating. Yeah, that was brutal, because I know that'd be more demanding. Say that. I also think I did a lot than this one. In April I will be 34. The way I trained when I was 20. Very good question. I mean, hormonally, you will have more aggression. I don't think I'm slowing down at all. Something I should think about. But I don't think so. I mean, But the way I'm training right now, because of the weights will go down after the upper body. Make another split, yeah. Old best lifts. For example, Pete Rubish, he's doing this right now. Pete Rubish, who's a well-known powerlifter, who trained in his parents' basement with the washer in the back. I think Mark Bell once printed out a big poster of the washing machine in the back when he visited Mark Bell in his slingshot gym. But anyway, yeah, I think I'm pushing myself pretty much still on what I consider high level for me. But back in the day, yeah. I mean, I don't have enough weights to, let's say, if I wanna do a deadlift, which would be, I don't know, 150 kg, I would not be able to perform that because the barbell right here that I have right now, I can put 126 kilos on the barbell. And that is the biggest weight I can put on right now on the barbell. So I couldn't even try to do the 150 deadlift. So in the long run, I should get a power rack. I should get some kind of rack or a half rack. And also the negative part about the rack I have right now. If you are doing barbell chest presses, benches, I really have to adjust everything precisely, and that takes more than a minute just to put everything to the way that I really want it, the way I like it, the way I can re-rack and rack it. 180 centimeters, so once 2 meters or even 220, a lot longer, and that gives you the freedom much more easily than if 80, yeah. And then with where I can rack and re-rake it comfortably. Sometimes the rack rather apart, but there is not much if I had a bigger bar. If racks have to stand on a certain point, but still for my hands to place onto the. But if you had a bigger leg, it would be easier for you to adjust. Here I am stretching out that, but try that stretch. I think it's a good one. And it's super hard to hold it. Here I am already. The technique needs improvement in GVT and on my deadlifts here. I did always the 10 reps with the 10 sets and not worry about the grip so much. That's the very last exercise. Of course, anything you do at the very end, usually, especially when the bigger the muscle, level of tiredness you can exhaust it. And that's the downside. The problem with my training is that my bigger muscle groups, yeah, I hit them at the very. Is interesting is that thing 2 times a week, and the frequency, so the intensity, although not be all the way up. That would be a very, yeah. Give myself the workout again, hopefully. Under the impression that bigger, I don't feel that way. When I'm in, it's all about the challenge, the rep ranges, the set range. So indirectly, about the challenge, think about gaining muscle. Bigger. It's never in my head when I'm working out. Can I push myself to that point? That's it. That's what it is for me. But I like to push myself. Also, if you talk to riders, they will enjoy joy they get. They eat that fry that's completed. That's what they are after. The way I feel about my workouts, where I should get a deload. Of course, it's not easy, and of course lifts, that is misery. It really is. You really hope it will be over. Deadlifts, I did not do 10 reps, 10 sets. What I did right there was but because of the 25 reps, those total 100 reps in, that you know, I was so exhausted at that, so that's why I did it. 4 sets of 25 reps. Look at myself right there, right now. I think, oh, it looked, when you do it, work, or at least for me, for my body. And as we're talking about fitness, it's just cardio currently, nothing, not at all cardio right now, because this that is cardio to me. Is a cardiovascular workout also. The heart also gets a pump. And it's true. I think I should get myself more nutrients and minerals, more supplements. Currently, what do I have? I have vitamin C in my cabin, which I take here and there. Maybe I should take it every day. I like to take 3 pills here and there. Maybe I should do vitamin D pills, which I tend to, I mean, when the winter is coming. But what else? I should buy some right below my left eye, sometimes maybe from stress, but maybe it's just electrolytes. And yeah, I'm resting, and then I realize I also have sometimes in various muscles, for example in the also start pumping and contracting, and now the triceps or chest or shoulder or under. And I think magnesium will help, or like just plenty of good old vegetables also. Why not, you know? Vegetables. I think there are certain things in life where nobody, I don't care who you are, will say that it sucks. Okay, let's say you're a fruitarian. Then you would say that vegetables are bad for you. But the very majority of people will tell you that you should eat vegetables and it's good for you. Or another thing, reading. If you ask me, reading is good for you. You will never say, oh no, why did I read that? I wish I did have not read that. That's not gonna happen. You will always be happy to have read a book. It's also always a good idea to learn a new language, to travel. Those are the things you can never get enough of. Those are always good experiences which enrich you. Not in every sense, but in many sense. And United States, and I love it. I'm really happy that this was the very best time of my life. Right now, that's not very nice. Traveling will make you better, honestly. So do it. Just do it. Also, there's never the perfect timing, especially traveling. You will never feel completely ready. It's tough to do. Just do. Just travel. Maybe not right now. Hopefully. Who knows? How all of this will take, you know. Nobody knows. Glass circle. You know what I mean. So I am with my deadlifts. Perform very hard lashed reps. Held by my love and life right there. Ooh wee, getting that stretch in. Pulling it up. Also, I contemplated maybe getting new straps. There is this normal ass strap which I'm using right there, but also there is a strap where it's almost like a piece of leather. Let's say Game Boy sized leather piece, and you rub that leather around the barbell or whatever you're holding onto, and then also you get a very nice grip in. Me and my straps, I'm pretty comfortable using my straps, but it takes some time, you know. Strapping yourself in takes some time. It's not as easy as using the seat belts that you buckle yourself in the car. The straps I'm using right there, it takes a bit more time to completely get them tight, but whatever. I'll think about it, getting new ones, we'll see. Because right now I have 2 different ones plus 1 glove. 2 gloves for each hand. But yeah, I'll see. I don't know. But also I'm super happy with my knee bandages. That's also a nice thing to have, if you ask me. Knee bandages, good sporting shoes, various many t-shirts, and then the shorts Always like to do deadlifts and squats in my shorts. For some reason. I don't know. Because maybe I'm sliding the barbell always very close to my body. For example, when I'm doing the deadlift. And the pants I'm wearing right now, I can also make them tight with that built-in rope. And then, yeah, maybe otherwise my pants would just, I would take them off unintendedly. And after your workout, or after my workout, after the ham workout here, after the deadlift here, I'm stretching. Good minute, touching those toes or the knuckles on the floor, even better. Get that stretch in. And after that stretch, it's the glorious finish.